2, 3.
Ready?
All right. What up? Live MLK All-Star podcast. My man, K Boogie.
What's up? Glad to be here once again. Another month passed, another episode. Springtime is in the air. Well, it doesn't feel like it outside. It feels like winter out there, really. It was actually just snowing last week. Once again, the only Clipper fan, Kenneth Osborne. I can't do this by myself. I got my man Ron here, aka Ron the Barber, aka Ron the Teacher, aka Ron the Creator. So how you been, man? How's your week going? How was your weekend, should I say? Mm-hmm.
How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain, man. Just busy, staying busy and everything. Just watching the last couple games for March Madness because everything's been coming to a close now. Everybody's bracket is probably just tore up. St. Peter's done ruined everybody's bracket. Unfortunately, Nova had to go home. And ends the career of Colin Gillespie, who's one of not really a Philly native, but suburban Philadelphia, went to Archbishop Wood Catholic school, and definitely a great player. Awesome career at Villanova, and hopefully we get a chance to see him on the next level, see him in the league. A lot of Villanova guards are in the league, so But this March Madness tournament has been just great all the way through. Lots of upsets, lots of great games, great players coming through. Coaches' careers being resurrected. So. Yeah, that's what I was doing for this whole month of March.
I was proud of Nova. I was proud, you know what I mean? Just when I heard how far they came, and then I walked in at the tail end of the game and was like, it's almost like the Philly curse, But yo, man, I really want to say thanks, man, for motivating me and like kind of kicking me in the butt to get on this podcast, man. I've been frauding and running from it, and
you're not running from it. You was busy, man.
Get it done.
You're busy doing things, man. You're doing great things. Like you were, I'm not sure if you're going to get into it, but you've been doing some traveling to get your school, accredited. If you wanted to, talk about that, that's awesome right there. So this little podcast, you're doing big things. So I mean, I don't know if you wanted to touch on that, but go ahead.
Let's start off, man. Welcome to the MLK Alumni All-Star podcast. Ron the Barber, my man K Boogie, KC. We back, to touch on some current events, some national events, and some worldwide events. Class of 95. We just proud to say that we're giving away 2 scholarships this year. We gave away 1 last year. Now we get ready to give away 2 scholarships. So we look forward to the class of 2022 and blessing them with the Coach Stewart scholarship, which I believe Coach Malik has already picked the recipient for the Coach Stewart scholarship. And I'm very, very proud to be giving out the first annual Ron Cage scholarship for academics. So that's going on with the class of 95. Besides that, man, K Boogie, I'm gonna put the mic in your hand. This your wheels. You spin the wheels.
Okay. Also, too, I think I saw it on Facebook. There was supposed to be a cleanup day yesterday. Was it April 2nd? So that was yesterday.
It was a cleanup at Martin Luther King High School. I believe it was like spring cleaning where people came out, picked up trash. Planted, flowers, and just trying to keep the upkeep of the property, looking good. So shout out to Miss Kim, the Miss Kim alumni, who holding things down at the school alumni president. And, it was one of Miss Kim deals. So anytime you Miss Kim, class of 95, we there.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so let's get right into it, man. You've been gone for a minute. Now it's time for the jump off. you've been really, really busy, especially busy around this time because it's election time. And once again, we've been touching on it over and over and over again all through the months, even since like last year. In regards to election time, a lot of people say, especially when it's not dealing with like the presidential election, but I would say some of these smaller elections, like city council, senator, governor, state rep, things of that sort, I think they're equally important. As a matter of fact, even more important because they affect us more because they're in our city. So just walk us through it in regards to the importance of voting. One, also two, I'm about to give you a whole lot here. Who's running, why it's important to vote, and why it's important to pick this particular candidate.
Okay. Well, first thing I want to say is, man, I always want to encourage folks to get out and vote. A lot of us don't know the history of voting. A lot of people don't believe that their vote counts. And when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about a lot of African Americans. A lot of Black brothers don't really know that their vote counts. And when you say, yo, get out and vote, the first thing you hear them say is, man, don't nothing change for me. Them politicians don't do nothing for me. And
why do you think they say that?
I think because they're uneducated. They're not educated to the point where, when I say educated, let me go back and say they're not informed.
There you go.
The people that's in position are people that are supposed to deliver the resources to the community. And resources such as treatment for maybe from your biggest to your smallest thing, to mental health, to financially struggling, people who need help paying their utilities, to even businesses who may even just need some kind of consultant to deal with, some of the red tape that you got to deal with, running a business. It's a lot of stuff that you have to cross. And if your T's aren't crossed and your I's aren't dotted, things can't really get done.
That's preach.
I'm just going to say that our culture, not everybody, but if you're not educated on a certain level, you won't even understand this. So like I hear a lot of brothers tell me saying, man, unless I get another stimulus check, I'm not voting. Or guess what? They want my vote, they got to give it up. And then I try to empathize with the individuals that I talk to in the streets about voting, because some of the things that we're able to see now is how different nationalities come to America and get a brand new start. You know what I mean? So like during the pandemic, a lot of businesses got like what they call an EIDL loan, and just certain things from the SBA, where they've been giving that money out for years to the Asians and the different people that come over, from other countries, to help them get started in America, where you got young, Black and old and middle-aged Black people who don't really have a lot of resources, don't really have a lot of options. And then when a couple of us make it out or make it on top, we kind of like, hey, I made it on top. It ain't my fault y'all didn't make it. I'm a house nigga now. You still on the field. And I mean, excuse me, but that's just the rawness. Because I've been on the field, and even though sometimes I'm in the house, I still let them know that, yo, I ain't a house nigga. You know what I mean? I could put the role on, but guess what? I'm for my people in the field.
All right. Well spoken, my G. So you already went over why it's important to vote, because a lot of people think that, even I used to think that too, in regards to like, I'm not going to vote for this small election for like city council, because it's not important. I'm going to vote for the president. I'm going to vote for the presidential election. That's the important vote. Now, also another reason why that I voted early was because like grandmothers, great grandmothers, great grandfathers, I'm going to say just great grandparents all together, like in the early 1900s, late 1800s and stuff like that. They weren't allowed to vote. And some of them were even giving up their lives to get to the voters booth. And also because of the, the 3/5 compromise and things of that sort that, mom and grandma and pop, used to tell me about, so it also made me think that, wow, these people are giving up a lot just to have their voices heard, and it was already instilled in me as a young age, I don't care who's voting. I don't care if you're voting for, the top paper boy in the neighborhood, like I'll vote for it because, back then during the olden times, they weren't allowed to vote. Or risk or face, persecution, so.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what, man? My main thing though is if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking about voting, if you're not registered to vote, the last day to vote is May 2nd. May 2nd, 2022. Election day is May 17th. Some of the races that will be coming up will be for U.S. Senate. Some will be for state reps. So we want to just say, I want to use this platform more than anything to talk about people getting registered to vote before I try to promote a candidate. And I'm saying that to say that right now, we need people to register to vote, because if we don't, how can I say this? If we don't have a voice when the resources are being given out, and when I say resources, I'm talking about city council, I'm talking about the Senate hearings and all of the things that go on that's in a fancy language that a lot of us really just don't understand. But you need to be at these city council sessions, because every day you're making decisions about the resources that's supposed to be for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I really want to encourage the young people, the old people. If you're not registered to vote, then guess what? You might say, you know what? I vote every year and nothing happens. Nothing changes. But I got to say this. What have we done to make things change? I mean, have you got out there and told your state rep that, hey, you know what? I don't like people dumping trash on my block. You know what I mean? Have you got out there and done any street cleaning? Have you been to your state rep office to even find out who your state rep is and to find out what resources, because they have a lot of programs going on.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, they got a lot of programs on, a lot of grants going on. I know a lot of people are like chasing grants now. That's like the new hustle now, but it's a good thing because you got people doing constructive things. And even though it may be motivated by getting a grant, so be it. Because the more positive we have, the more we can, we won't lessen. I mean, we won't just stop all the negativity in the streets and everything. But if we can lower the percentage, I just realized that, there's only one way to eat an elephant. You know how to eat an elephant, my friend?
How's that?
One bite at a time.
Whoa. Bars.
So I say that to say, get out and vote. Last day to vote is May 2nd, 2022. Election day is May 17th.
Okay.
You can actually vote by mail. So if you are not registered to vote and you need to register to vote, reach out and we can actually help you get registered to vote, or go to your local state rep office, go to your city council. You can go online. I believe if you go to uptownvotespa.com, there's a link for you to register to vote. So yeah, we just want to get everybody to register to vote. That's the most important thing that's going on in our current events.
Gotcha. That's uptownvotespa.com. Okay, gotcha.
You hear that intro? You hear that instrumental?
I do hear it.
Who is that, Kay?
Oh, that's the Far Side. That's Far Side. That's 19.
Music challenge.
Come on, man. That was Far Side's second album too. That was a good album too. That got slept on.
Okay.
So in case now who's actually running in this election that we have to pay attention to?
Definitely running for state rep. She's up for re-election. And that's Rep. Derisha Parker, who has holding it down for her district back Wayne Avenue, helping people get grants, utilities, resources, food. So we definitely want to give a shout out to Rep Parker. We know Connor Lamb is running for U.S. Senate. Democrats have chosen him to represent us for the Senate. So someone you definitely want to look for on your mail-in ballot or when you go vote. So yeah, definitely just we're mentioning those two names right there. Can't forget Rep Isabella Fitzgerald. So she's representing the West Oak Lane area. We got Congressman Dwight Evans, I think, is running again. So yeah, these are just a few names that represent Uptown in our area. So definitely want to give them a shout out. And like I said, the most important thing is we need people to register to vote.
And also too, and that's perfect segue too, because when you register to vote, you actually there's a little power. There's power in that, because now you have the power to choose. You know, a lot of people are like, well, like you said before, oh, they're not going to change anything. Yeah, because you're not voting. Now, let's say we all live in the same house. We're a family, boom, and we all don't vote. Then we carry that type of attitude towards next door. So they're not voting. Then we carry that attitude again down the street. Like now, the whole block's not voting. You know, and that could really tip the scales in having someone that you need in office and having someone that you don't want in office. You know, we've seen it before. It's just like when we were in school. It's just like we were in school and we're trying to vote for a class president. So what'll happen is, oh, I'm not voting. That's corny. I'm not voting for no class president. This, that, da, 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 da. Eventually, the person that you don't want for a class president gets in there. So now you're just stuck with all this nonsense that you're getting. So, you know, the only person you can blame is yourself. It's like missing a deadline. It's like missing a deadline in school. You know, they said, listen, your report or your dissertation, your presentation is due on May the 4th. All right, I ain't worried about it. I ain't gonna sweat nothing. Okay. Yeah, this ain't gonna matter on my grade and stuff like that. All right, cool, bet. Okay, May 4th comes around, you don't have your report, your dissertation, your presentation. The only person you can blame is yourself for getting that low grade. You can't blame anyone else. You can't blame your teacher. You can't blame your classmates. You can't blame your study materials or anything like that. The only person you can blame is that person looking in the mirror. So go argue with that person. But break it down to me, a little bit more, Ron, about why is it important to, to pick these particular candidates?
Well, let me
not to have you on
I'm not going to go in that direction.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase the question.
What I'm going to say is,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Register to vote. May 2nd is the last day to register to vote. So what I want to do is emphasize on this podcast: get out and register to vote. That's the most important thing you can do, because once you register to vote, then you can even have a voice to find out who's running and why they're running, and you can actually get involved with election for yourself, and you can actually come up with issues for yourself and present to the candidates, like some of the issues that that I know older people in like Mount area, certain areas, the trash truck people, they come by, they get the trash and they just throw the trash cans in the middle of the driveway. Certain issues like that, or just, whatever you can think about, if it's the store on the corner that's selling loose cigarettes and beer and you got a problem with it. This is what your voting right matters. This is why it's important for issues like that to be able to say, hey, I'm a citizen, because there's people that are climbing walls that Trump built. There's people flying from all over, dying in cargos to get to over here, United States of America, so they can say that I have a right to vote and be a citizen. So, this is something that I think we need to just kind of educate our people more about.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I like the way also that you got out that question too. You actually dodged that question too, because I'm not going to say that, But I will tell you this, so speaking of vote, because I know one thing I will vote for. I will vote for, and I'm not even driving like that, but I'm definitely voting for these gas prices to lower a little bit. But
so let's talk a little bit, man. Current events going on, the national thing. Really, what's going on nationally is because of what's going on worldwide. But nationally, man, these gas prices is out of control.
Yeah,
out of control. I mean, there's some states where, like, I think the gas is like $8-9 a gallon.
Like, what are you going to do? Like, how do you even buy that? Like,
you know what I mean? So yeah, man.
I never knew it was going to get that high. Like, the highest I ever seen gas is like maybe $4.50 or something like that. And that was like back a couple years ago when, I think it was like the summertime or something like that. And I was like, listen, you're just not going anywhere. But like I said, part of that is because like everything's starting to go up now. Like inflation is rising, cost of living is getting a little bit higher, gas is higher. I mean, what was I to do, man? It's like,
and just touching on our national current
start
events,
riding my bike or something. Mm-hmm.
Touching on our national current events, we want to give a shout out to Villanova.
Okay.
Villanova, man. Villanova, they did what? They just did something major, right?
Yeah, went to the Final Four. That's about it.
Yeah, the Final Four, what?
The NCAA tournament.
And what is the NCAA tournament?
March Madness, big dance, whatever you want to call it.
I was trying to get you to break down the NCAA, bro.
Oh, the National Collegiate Athletic Association.
There you go. Villanova made it nationally, national recognition. They got to the chip and lost. I think they kind of just had that Philadelphia curse that we get to.
Well, I disagree with that. What happened was with Nova. I mean, they were nationally ranked all year because they've always been a nationally ranked squad. So what happened was one of their key players got hurt. I don't know if he tore his Achilles or something like that. Unfortunately, hopefully, shout out to Justin Moore. Hopefully, get speedy recovery, my brother. And what happened was he's one of the key parts of that team, and also when they were playing against a really big Kansas team too, the big front line centers, forwards, and Villanova is more of a guard oriented team. So good big beats good little any day of the week. Like you can be as little and good all you want. You can shoot the lights out. All we have to do as a bigger team, take it down to the post. We beat you up a little bit, get you into foul trouble. I mean, listen, the best ability is availability, and you're not going to be available. Yeah, you're not going to be available when you're on the bench. Like now, we can do what we want, But like I said, great career. Go ahead.
Because I look at you as like a sports expert. You know what I mean?
Oh Lord, don't say that. But it's cool.
Where do you think Nova's going to be next year?
Oh, there'll still be national ranking because just like another great guard is leaving Villanova, another good guard is coming into Villanova, and it'll take a little getting used to because that's some big shoes to fill by Colin Gillespie because he was a 4-year starter, and whoever comes in there, better know what to do. I think Archie Aquino is he's going to be probably taking his place for Colin's place. That was Ryan Archie Aquino's brother. He's in the league right now. He plays for the Bulls or the Bucks. Either of those two. I don't have my stuff in front of me, but yeah, Villanova did great this year, man. I think they I thought they were going to go to the Elite Eight, but they actually took it a step further and went to the Final Four. Like I said, it was a great tournament this year. A lot of good teams made it. A lot of teams got upset. Kentucky, Murray State, to St. Peter's, which nobody saw St. Peter's coming, and I even asked my dad that. I was like, "Hey, Dad, are you watching the tournament?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm watching a little bit of it." I was like, "Yo, Kentucky lost, right?" He was like, "Really?" I was like, "To who?" I was like, "St. Peter's." Dad was like, he just looked up. He looked up at me like, "Peter's." I was like, "Exactly." Yeah, I was like, exactly. St. Peter's is a little school in Jersey City, a little small college in Jersey City, and they knocked off Wow, they knocked us about three, four teams in a row. You know, to get to the Elite Eight, but they lost to North Carolina, and then the ride is over. So, but shout out to Villanova. Great year. They're going to re-up next. They're going to re-up next season. The MVP race is heating up with Joel Embiid and Jokic and Akupo and everything. I think Joel Embiid, he's going to get it. I mean, all he has to do is probably play maybe 4 or 5 more games, and then after that you can rest him. But I think he's going to go away with the MVP. He's just been dominant this whole season, and you got to, as a non-Sixer fan, you got to give him his props. You have to.
Yeah. No, you know what? I like you saying that, man. Shout out to the Sixers, man. I'm glad that we got past that situation with Ben Simmons. Now we can kind of move on. And, you know, one of the worst things you could do is have somebody on your team, right? And this ain't about basketball. This is about life. Like, have somebody on your team that you know got the capability of playing or being a part of something. And because of their mindset and because of their attitude, they just throw the whole team off and say, I quit, or I'm not going to play. I'm not going to participate. Woo, 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 woo. So you know what, man? You know, it just showed me, man, that Philly, man, we deserve another chip. We deserve everything, bro. We've been balling.
I hope you guys do something. I mean,
Nova, shout out to Nova for, you know, guess what? Nova's damn near like Philly, bro. Like
it is Philly, technically.
Philly.
Yeah, because right.
Guess what? They got to cross City Line Avenue to come over to see us. You know what I mean?
You're right. You know, Philly. You know, Philly has always adopted Villanova.
But you know what, Ken? I just want to say, man, just you know, staying on point with our itinerary, just for the integrity of the podcast, current events. We're going to touch on the worldwide now, and that's the war with Russia and Ukraine, man. What's your thoughts on this, bro?
Well, first of all, I mean, for those who are like target to the party, this invasion started like in February, if I'm not mistaken, like February 2022, and they just came in. It was on like, I mean, it was on some Rambo 2 type stuff. Like they just came in and just took over. Unfortunately, it's just been horrific for the time. I mean, just been like torture. I mean, anything you would see like in those war movies back in the day that we used to watch, like Casualties of War, Rambo, let me see, Full Metal Jacket, so many other movies that come to mind that are escaping me right now. But it's just like that. I mean, the army and military is coming in and they're just like pretty much like taking over. And it's been to the point where like the people, the victims, they have to like run down to like subways and stuff like that, subways, schools, and like they're bombing schools and things of that sort. It's just horrific.
You know, man, listen, right? I want to say, man, my thoughts are, first of all, war is about money and power. Yeah. And I say to myself, you know, Russia is attacking, you know, it's the Ukraine, right?
Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're attacking Ukraine, and the rest of the world is just sitting back watching. And I'm saying to myself, why isn't the rest of the world, NATO, which is, you know, all the countries united together, defending Ukraine? And then it says to myself, what is it that Ukraine is not in compliance with the rest of the world? Because I look at it like Russia is the 12th grader bullying up the 9th grader, and everybody is sitting back watching, and nobody's jumping in, nobody's stopping the fight, which they could damn sure stop the fight. But America, knowing America, guess what? If America can't get rich off of you, you're on your own.
Ooh, so, that's a really good metaphor, man. That's a really good one. I like that one.
end of the day, you know, when you see people dying and their houses getting bombed and all that kind of stuff, the day and age that we live in now is about peace and harmony. And the fact that Russia was even doing this is saying Russia, I think, was really just testing their hand. And America could have sat back and said, you know what? Let's see what they're going to do. Let's see what they're going to do. Because, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, just, you know, wanted to touch on the current events, man. And what I really want to do is I want to take like a 2-minute break. And when we come back, man, we're going to have something special for you. And what I mean something special, we can't leave without talking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock situation.
Okay.
So listen, man, we're going to take a 2-minute break. We're going to let this Coogee rap instrumental play out, and we're going to come back in about not even 2 minutes, man, about 60 seconds. All right, we back. MLK Alumni All-Star podcast, the Coogee rap instrumental Road to the Riches. Y'all don't know about that. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, listen, man, we got to touch on it, you know.
Yeah. And before you get into it, you know what my favorite Coogee rap joint was? My joint was Streets of New York.
Ooh, Streets of New York. Okay.
Streets of New York. The little kid says, yo, I got a color TV, CD player, and car stereo. And all I want is a castle. He said, I also got a 38. Don't give me no hassle. Woo! Come on, Coogee. Don't do that. Don't do that. One kid heads straight to the top. Stops and gets popped by a crooked cop.
Got to talk about my man, Will and Chris.
All right, we'll speak on it. Talk to me. We all know what happened.
Chris. And all I'm going to say to you is,
here we go.
How you want to start this off, bro? Because this thing is touchy, man, and everybody talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Listen, when I saw it happen, I actually saw it happen live. Like I'm watching. I thought it was, like I said, like everybody thought it was staged, you know, and then Will Smith runs back. He walks back, you know, to his seat, which, you know, to me, he should have been escorted out. That's just me. And he just started just firing off. You know, keep my name. You know, keep my wife's name out your blank mouth. Then he said it again. And that's when I thought I knew was for real, because if you look in the background, you see some of the actors, everybody's like quiet, like that's that awkward silence, like, you know, and you know, props to Chris Rock, because he took it like a G, and he, you know, even though the joke might have been a little bad timing, bad joke, maybe to Jada because she was the butt of the joke, you know, but like a G, he was like, listen, man, like, all right, okay, cool, I got you, no problem, you know, and he kept going on with the show. So,
right. Well, you
so,
know, man,
go ahead, talk to me.
I'll share this with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if you are a Black man and you have any type of success, I'm not talking about if you famous. I'm talking about the average Black man that may be a business owner, that may be a teacher, that may be a professional. This affected us. This is how it affected us, because let me explain something to you.
Okay.
Being Black in America, you got to be tough. You got to be tough with the fact that we was in slavery, and that the same breed of people that enslaved us and beat us and whipped us and torched us and hung us and castrate us and cut our balls off, that we got to walk around and be respectful and not flip out and act crazy. So all I'm saying is, by Will Smith doing this, it's almost like, man, we just went through this with Bill Cosby, man. Mm-hmm. They degraded us and said, look, we're going to make y'all black hero. Y'all, who everybody, Bill Cosby was like, in our sense, he was damn near like Martin Luther King, man. And so was Will Smith.
So do you think
he will still be known as a great black man, but what he did was, now you represent black men, even though, like Charles Barkley used to say, I'm not no role model. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, even though you don't want to be no role model. But guess what? You got millions and millions and millions and millions of people who looking at this TV and movies, and you know what? They want to be you. They want to look up to you. You're their hero. So for him to do that, now it was just saying, okay, there's an angry black man.
Yeah, you know what really took the scales too?
But see, let me tell you something. Man. And you need to know this about America. See, America, is built off of slavery, extortion, robbing the Indians for their land. America's a gangster. And all I'm saying is, when you got an angry black man, they're going to look at you like you're a 200-pound rock waller who's sick.
You know what they do to them?
You know what they do to an angry 200-pound rock waller that's sick?
You know what they do to them?
They blow his head off and put him out of his misery. So now, all I'm saying is, I still look up to Will Smith. I hate what he went through. He lost his cool. But on the overall tip, man, you made black brothers look bad, man. And anybody with any kind of success or any kind of education is going to look at that view. Anybody who ain't got nothing to lose and who don't care about life is like, yeah, he represented Philly, and man, that's some nigga stuff, man.
You know what? That's crazy. I was just about to say that to you too, Ron, because I'm just like, some people were telling me, he was like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah, don't be, he made fun of his wife on the stage and stuff like that. But I'm like, listen, it's just like when you go to a comedy show. Like, how many times have we been to a comedy show and we sat in the middle?
Also, we should be learning a lesson. These females should be learning a lesson and say, be careful how you control a man. And these men, these guys have to listen, man. I'm gonna be straight up with you, man. You know what I mean? There's so many brothers that's in the penitentiary right now because they call themselves defending a woman or defending her honor, and they sitting in jail. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you, my man Celine Burns. Shout out to Celine. That was my cellie, when I did my time, right? Like when I did my little time, I did like 5 years. And during my 5 years, every cellmate I had was in for murder. And I said, man, Lord, you get me out of this, I ain't never coming back. And I'm just keeping it funky. You know what I mean? And so, like, every cellie I had, and when I say cellie, that's who you got to sleep with. That's who you got to eat with, sleep with, watch your back, watch his back, because going to prison tomorrow ain't promised. You can get killed in prison. That's how real it is. So every cellmate I had was in for murder. And this one particular brother, I pray that he get out one day. He had a girl, and they was at a club, a party, and this girl came up to him and said, yeah, this dude disrespected me and called me a bitch or whatever happened. Whatever happened. He went up to the ball just like Will Smith off impulse. He didn't check the ball. He just went straight up to the bull on Rambo time. And he stabbed him, and the guy died. Now Salim is doing 40 to 80 years because he defended a woman that he called his wife at the time. But as he said, after 5 years, guess what? She was spending his money. She was with another man. Told him, I can't do this. I can't do this jail bid with you. And here he is. He in jail for the rest of his life because he acted off of impulse over a woman. So for me, that was my story to say, man, be careful. Don't let these broads get you killed.
Right? Yeah, well, I was watching it.
Man, no, real rap. Here it is. This is April 3rd, 2022. 2 days ago, an individual was shot in Mount Airy, which is in our neighborhood, near Wadsworth Avenue. An individual was shot 17 times over a female. That's the word on the street. It was over a female. So all I'm saying is, man, the reality is this, man. That's like if you older, when you get older, you know better, you do better.
Right.
Anybody that got any common sense would want to say, dang, man, it was bad for Will and Jada. It was bad for both of them. Because here this man reacted off of whatever feeling his wife gave him that he couldn't control himself.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when I saw it, and the thing that got me was like when Will, when Chris Rock said the joke, and obviously it might have been in poor taste. Maybe he didn't know about, Jada Pinkett Smith's alopecia and all that other stuff. But everybody was laughing. Even Will was laughing. I guess Jada didn't like the joke, so she rolled her eyes and stuff like that. I don't know what she said to Will, or she just gave him just like some type of look, like you gonna let him talk? You gonna let him talk about me like that? He just went up there and he handled business. Now, a friend of mine was like, "Yeah, he should have did that." Now, here's my question. Here was my question to him. Here's my question to you. Let's say Chris Rock is not really hurting anybody. Chris Rock is like everybody like 5'10", 165 or something like that. He ain't really hurting nobody. And on top of that, he's a comedian. Comedians do this for a living. They roast people, they snap on people, but it's all in good taste. I've been to many comedy shows where I sat in the front, I was like, oh snap, I know what I'm getting today. And he goes on me. Does that give me the right to go up there and punch somebody in the face? No, not really, because this is what they do. This is what I signed up for, And many times I've met comedians backstage and say, yo, man, you were a really good sport, man. You actually took it like, listen, this is Philadelphia. We bust on people. But people are a little too sensitive now, whatever the case may be. But my question to you, Ron, is my question to all the listeners out there, if you want to, like and subscribe and everything like that, is let's say Jerry Seinfeld was up there, or Larry David, or may he rest in peace, Robin Williams.
No, let me ask this.
Do you think he was swung on them? Would he swung on them?
No, bro. You got to say it raw.
I am saying it raw because these. No, listen to me. Listen before you cut me off. Listen to me. I am saying it raw because these are white comedians. These are white comedians. Yeah. Would you swing on any of them?
Can I rephrase the question, K Boogie?
You can ask it however you want. Go ahead.
I want to rephrase the question. Permission to rephrase the question.
Permission granted, sir.
The question is, would Will have done it if it was a white man?
No.
And let me just tell you this. If he had done it and it had been a white man, his ass would have been in jail.
He'd have been cuffed. Easy.
And let me just say this, right? See, I don't keep up with the media and all the gossip and stuff going on, but I got some family members who sit up and they watch this stuff 24/7, right? And what was told to me was the young man, I think his name is Tiger. The young man that slept with his wife. The young man that slept
August Alsina. August Alsina.
Whatever his name is.
You said Tiger. Damn.
Tiger Alsina, all these weird names. But anyway, let me just say this, man. I gotta say this, right? You know, the young man was friends with Will Smith's son. It was his son who brung the enemy, the devil, in the house. So all I'm gonna say is, if it was me, I smack my son, and I go smack Asina Bina, whatever his name is, because it was my son who brung the. Now I'm just going off the bed. You know what I mean? But
no, but nobody talked about that part though. Everybody was talking about the part about, you know, Chris Rock was wrong. He told a bad joke. Okay, it happens. The joke went over wrong. You know, let's move on. But
you know what's so crazy, man? Let me tell
ahead.
you, man. Listen, man. You know, I work in a barbershop. You know what I mean? And I work with a lot of different barbers. And I know I work with, and sometimes people say stuff, man. So all I'm gonna say is, if you think you're gonna run up on somebody and smack somebody, man, you might get gunned down, man. And the reality is, don't nobody want to see that, man.
Right, exactly. And like I said, I think he picked his target.
Look, man, don't show off for that girl, man. Don't show off, because for real, man, there's some jokers out here that'll lay you down and don't care nothing about it.
Don't care nothing about it. Go order a cheesesteak.
One of my favorite movies, man, is Menace to Society.
Okay.
And you know what Kane said? He said, "What we supposed to fight over, girl?" He said, "Eileen or my cousin." And all I'm saying is, man, there's a time and a place for everything. I'm not saying don't let nobody disrespect your woman.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this. Like, if it was me, Ron, you know what? Go ahead.
The reality is this, man. Whether she your wife or not, after you go do something crazy and you get locked up, guess what, man? She gonna be laying in bed with another man while you sitting there talking about, I defended her honor. Because guess what? Guess what? They might come do the commissary and put the money on your books and come see you in a visit. But after a while, guess what? They're going to say, that's his dumbness. I ain't telling them to do that. And I'm telling you, that's how they think. So just my perspective is, man, check yourself. It's a time and a place. You know, somebody do something to you. Be a man. Be a man and approach them. And then guess what? And if they can't respect you being a man and they just ignorant, then you deal with ignorant accordingly.
Yeah, walk away.
You know what I'm saying?
Now you know what also too, it's like, now if I'm like this would be me. Because if I were to, let's say, my lady, like we're at the awards and the comedian's just going off on her, like da. Now, first thing I'm gonna whisper in her ear, like, yo, like say something back to him. Say something back. Like, you know how to bust, like, you know how to bust back. Let's bust back. You know, this is harmless. Like, cause I'm thinking like you got Chris Rock, Jada Pinkett, Will Smith. Like all three of these actors have played in very funny movies. So I know they have like some type of comedic timing, especially Chris Rock. Like all Jada has to do is just fire back. Jada could have fired back at like, I can't wait for Grown Ups 3 to come out. Boom.
You know what? You know what, Kay? Guess what Will Smith did show the world? He thinks Chris Rock's a bitch anyway.
Listen, let me tell you something about the Chris Rock and the Rock family. Let me tell you something about them. Because there's like 10 of them out there.
But no, here's what I'm trying to say to you, bro.
I'm listening to you.
Will Smith, he reacted off impulse, but he also reacted off somebody he don't respect. Because if it had been somebody else, like the Rock or anybody else,
or like
run,
you know,
he wasn't going to run up on nobody and smack nobody.
Yeah, like Terry Crews or something like that.
Don't you be talking about my wife. Oh, you be talking about my wife?
They start crying. They start crying and stuff like that. So
but like I said, man, I know brothers that's in jail for the rest of their life, and not just one, two. I met a whole lot of individuals, man, that like, yeah, they disrespected my girl or they disrespected my wife. Man, guess what? Them jokers is in jail for the rest of their life. They never coming home. And a woman laying up with somebody else, man.
Oh, that hurts.
I'm just telling you the reality, man. So brothers need to check themselves before they run out here acting crazy over these females. Because, you know what I mean? You don't want to throw your life away.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to throw your life away. I ain't saying let nobody walk all over disrespect you, but guess what, man? A real men handle things properly.
Yeah, also happened too. This is also what I think what what happened was one of the comedians, Amy Schumer, like she's like a white comedian, so she was like, yeah, I felt scared and this and that. I felt scared for my safety. Now, once they start complaining, there's gonna be some phone calls made. There's gonna be some phone calls made.
We pray that, guess what, man, this gonna come and go. For William Smith, the actor from Philadelphia, because he's human. And the biggest thing that we really do need to learn from this is what Denzel said. And what Denzel said was, devil, he will meet you at your highest moment. Your highest moment. And like, not even trying to get no church sermon, but see, this is why we wear the helmet of salvation. Because guess what, man? Your spirituality, your walk with God, or whoever you are, it's all up in here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't like you got to get to a point, man, that I thank God for me not to let people rent space in my head.
Right.
Because once a person can rent space in your head, they can control you. They can move you around like a joystick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, shout out to Will Smith, Chris Rock, our Black people, man. Just, wanted to touch on that and just tell my brothers, man, listen, man, don't go to jail over these females. Because as soon as you go, bro, they're going to be with somebody else. Part of your homeboy.
Oh, right.
Keeping it real. Like,
right, all right.
I'm telling you, I've seen it and done it. And know the reality of it, man. And I just pray for those who, because when you make a life. Now, let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. What if he would have smacked Chris Rock?
Okay.
And Chris Rock just might have happened to fall.
Oh.
Chris Rock might have just fell and hit his head.
You gotta think about that.
So, man, I say to my peoples, man, think before you react. Don't let your emotions control you, because the wrong decision could mess your life up. And with that being said, man, I got a special.
That wraps it up right there. That's a perfect wrap up right there.
I got a special treat for you on the Wheels of Steel.
Okay, go on. What you got for me?
Fuji Rap, Streets of New York.
Night Train. That's right.
Man, once again, shout out to my man, K Boogie, the only Los Angeles Clippers fan in the city of Philadelphia.
Maybe the whole country. Go ahead.
Class of 95, MLK. What up, Earl? What up, Atwana? Whole class of 1995, everybody. MLK Alumni All-Star Podcast. K Boogie, you got any last words?
Hey, man, just, thank you for listening. I mean, another good podcast. We came out, you definitely got your point across, dropping jewels again. Like I said before, man, once you get rolling, you're rolling. So, shout out to all the listeners and, subscribe and like, MLK Alumni Podcast, All-Star Alumni Podcast. And, there's more to come.
No doubt. Well, listen, man, everybody be safe. Remember, last day to register to vote is May 2nd. Let's get out here and vote. Election day is May 17th. Peace.
Peace.
In the streets of New York.